Okay, so I look a bit of a mess, but that is just because I kept fussing and I wasn't sure what to do with my hair, and in the end I was like, just leave it. I also sound a bit full of a cold because I am full of a cold, so sorry about that too. Now, these videos are going to be mainly about the house that me and my husband have just bought. So we got married in August this year, and we look quite young, we are quite young, but we've been together for a really long time. And we decided to buy our first house, and we were really lucky because we actually managed to buy really near to the town that we grew up in, and it's just the town next door, so we were really lucky to be able to do that. And it definitely helps having two of you because you can pool your money together, and also when you go for a mortgage you've got two incomes to look at. So now the house that we bought is a 2-bedroom semi-detached house, and it's split level, so when you come into the road it looks like it's a bungalow, but it's not. So when you come in through the front door there's actually a little staircase, and you go down the staircase and you've got the kitchen and a lounge downstairs, and then you've got 2 bedrooms, a bathroom and a garage upstairs. The rooms are quite nicely sized actually. They're not massive. It's a 1968 house, but they're nice size. They're sort of, yeah, not quite as small as modern houses. And although our kitchen is actually tiny, and when we bought the house, it was in not a good state. So it was livable in that it wasn't one of these houses that you just couldn't live in. I mean, I know you sometimes see them on like the TV, on Grand Designs and things, where they have to live in rented, or they have to live in a caravan or something like that because they just can't inhabit the house. And ours wasn't like that at all. We could move in. We chose not to for the first month. We lived with Luke's mum, and when we moved in, it wasn't ideal, but it was definitely livable. So the first thing that we had to do was we had to sort the electrics out. And weirdly, when we bought the house, it looked like the electrics were fine. The fuse box kind of looked really new, and it said 2015 on it, but the sockets didn't work. And that hadn't been covered in the survey. We hadn't paid the extra to have that surveyed, so it was just one of those things. Luckily, it wasn't like too much of a serious fault. It was something to do with the wiring in the kitchen. We had an electrician in and he fixed it really quickly, and it was quite cheap to fix as well. So that wasn't too bad, but it was kind of an initial stress that you don't need when you first move into a house. We went to plug the Hoover in and we were just like, no power. So that was a pain. The other thing that we had was just a general kind of old-fashioned decor throughout. So they tried to make an effort when they'd sold it to kind of update it, and that was really just a case of painting everything white and kind of like cleaning the carpets up a little bit, but it was still very old-fashioned. So we had things, and I'll add pictures. We had things like avocado bathroom suite, which is still there, that's not changed yet. And we had things like loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of picture hooks in the wall, I think where they had lots of plates on display or something, or lots of trinkets. Really old curtains, so like lovely floral things that we got rid of. And yeah, but the best bit or worst bit, depending on how you look at it, was definitely the kitchen. So despite what I said about the room sizes being quite good, the kitchen is actually quite small. It's almost a galley kitchen, and when we moved in it had no white goods whatsoever. Because of the size, what they must have done is decided to make the dimensions of the appliances smaller, so they weren't your standard 600, they were smaller than that, which meant to get appliances to fit, so like an oven, I mean we had no white goods at all, nothing was left at all. We would have had to have get them like custom made, or to have bought special streamlined versions, which can be really expensive. And the more and more we looked at it, the more we thought, you know what, we may as well just get the kitchen done first. So we did loads of research, and I'll probably do another video on how I did that, because we had an absolute steal for our kitchen and it's worked out so brilliantly. And yeah, so I will do another video on that. But we ended up just thinking it was easier to put a new kitchen in. So the change that's happened to the kitchen is huge, and it's still not finished just because there are so many little things that need to be done, and it just takes so long to get these small bits, and you kind of don't see a lot of it until you move in as well, until you're like really using it often. But I'm really proud of what Luke's done on the kitchen and what we've done together, like in designing it as well. So that's usually my role, is usually sort of interior design. So it was actually something I always wanted to do when I was younger. Always wanted to be an interior designer, and kind of, yeah, ended up going down a different route. But I'm enjoying this because this is kind of letting me have that time for creativity, and also it's in my own home, so it feels a lot more important in a way. It's harder in some respects because I suppose if you were an interior designer working for a company or working for a client, the chances are you'd have a bigger budget than what we've got. But I'm kind of enjoying that too. So I think the idea of working with a budget, I've actually grown to really love it, because you actually have to really look for something that looks more money than it is. You have to find anything you can that's like free or cheaper, or I've kind of made a deal to myself where I don't buy anything full price for this house. Nothing is full price. So that way, even if I'm spending more money on something, then I know that I've still got a deal in a way, kind of, sort of. So this is the before photo of our kitchen, and this is what it looked like when we moved in. So you can see the small sizes of everything, and you can also see that it's very orange. We had a lovely lino floor and orange worktops and 3 different types of tiles. So we had blue tiles, floral tiles and green tiles. We also had those really old-fashioned 1960s cupboards, and generally just really old-fashioned. And this isn't the finished one yet, so it's only going to be a brief photo, but this is the general idea of what we've got now. So that is what we're going for, and I've done loads of Pinterest stuff. Pinterest has been my main source of inspiration, and just making loads of boards on there. I've kind of decided that I want to go for quite a natural feel, lots of like pebble textures and colours. We live quite near the beach, so maybe there's a little bit of that, but also just that I'm really into the minimalism thing, and I just like the idea of a space that's quite calming and neutral, and I think you can still have a lot of fun within a space like that. And our lounge is very different to the kitchen, which I think is nice, but I'm not sure if I would do it that way again. I feel like it may have been better to have like a continuity throughout the space, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. So this is our lounge before, and it's really basic, really basic, and nothing really wrong with it. We had an old stone fireplace which we did decide to rip out, much to some people's despair, because it was quite sweet. But we did try and upcycle it before we got rid of it. I tried a few things, cleaning it up, painting it, varnishing the top. I even tried distressing it towards the end, and it just wasn't working, and it was really big and bulky, and we just decided to go for a more clean look. So we've actually taken it completely back, and it's now flush with the wall and painted in a what's the word? In a, can't think of the word, feature colour. That would do, feature colour. And we're really happy with it, but it isn't finished yet. So I will put up some proper before and after photos and explain more where we got things from, if that's a good thing to do. I may do that. But here is our very unfinished, almost done after photo. There, feels really weird because I'm pointing at nothing. And yeah, so I hope you like it, and thank you for watching. Okay, so I've got loads of other ideas for future videos to do. I think I'm going to really enjoy doing this. Obviously this is a massive thing for us. It's our first house, and it's quite a big project to take on, especially when we're still quite young and we're also working full-time jobs. But I wanted a way to document it, and I feel like up to where we are now, I haven't documented it enough, and I really wish that I'd done something to kind of show that process. So I feel like this is a really good thing for me to do anyway, and for us to do, just so that we have a way to document it. But also, if it can help other people, then great, and if I can kind of get into a community where there's support, then that's really good, and I feel like YouTube could be a way to do that. I'm always watching YouTube videos all the time. I watch it more than TV. In fact, I don't really watch TV. So I feel like this is the perfect reason to be doing these videos for me. So I hope somebody out there has enjoyed them, and if you like these, subscribe, and I may make more. Thank you.